Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get straight to this intro. Bozo's tripping. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. Thank you. So what's up with Bozo, the Southern California rapper? He's in the limelight again, right? Bozo's mad. You know what? It's a trip, man, that a couple Northerners can go to Southern California and damn, everybody's mad. That's why you mad. That's why you mad. Why? Why? If Northern California is so inconsequential, that's how you say it, to what's going on in Southern California, why be upset? Why even care who goes down to LA as long as they come respectfully, handle their business, and get to pushing and cause no conflict and cause no pleito? Why would you even care or trip? Yesterday it was Grifo. The day before that, it was Neil Dazad. And today it's Bozo. Bozo's upset. He's furious. He's infuriated, right? Is that how you say it? Infuriated? I don't know how the fuck you say it, but I'm going to say it like this. He is mad. He's upset because he believes the rapper BFD and the other Northerners that went to No Jumper and went and filmed a music video in Los Angeles and came and walked throughout the streets of Los Angeles. It's all bad, man. They shouldn't be there. Go home. Right? He's upset, man. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, man, he left a comment on his social media and he's saying, and I quote, that the Southerners are playing chess while Northerners are playing checkers. Northerners are going to Southern California for the clout, whereas Southerners are going to Northern California for the conquer, right? Let me explain some history so that Bozo's up to par, man, because wherever he was locked up at, whoever he was locked up around, they didn't lace him up correctly. He must not know the historia of what's going on between the North and the South and why it is what it is and what makes him so mad, right? He trips me out. He's an anomaly. Him, Neil Dazad, these guys are an anomaly, right? And respects to the Sur gang, I got none but love and respect for Southerners, but these guys are different. I've never seen Southsiders or Sureños from Southern California, LA, San Diego, all of Inland Empire, all that respects, right? I've never seen them guys even give a shit or care about what's going on in Northern California or Nortenos, period. Because, see, they got too much interaction and too much bullshit going on with their enemigos down there, other Southerners, blue on blue team, Bozo, right? To even worry about Nortenos, to even worry about a Northerner going to LA, it's not even that serious. They don't give a fuck. They're not fighting behind the walls, and they're definitely not going to take the penitentiary chance and fight a Norteño on the streets. In fact, there was a Huila that was put out several years ago now when the end of hostilities was implemented that said as long as Norteños go to Southern California with respect and don't go disrespecting, then no one is even to trip off of them. Why? Why would you waste your time? But, Bozos, Neil Dazads, Grifos, these guys are mad. And you can't be mad at dudes for coming to a city that you're not even really functioning in, right? Doing your thing in. Just you're chilling, you're working, you're living your daily life, and you're mad because these guys are coming and you feel like they're making a mockery of your city. Look, if them guys are going down there talking about, hey, we walk in the streets, fools ain't doing nothing, hey, by all means, you have every right to be upset. Because like I know, like we all know, man, that's a cowardice move. If you don't go directly live in a barrio and be like, hey, I'm here, which would be fucking stupidity, right? But if you don't do that, if you walk around LA, enjoy the sights, enjoy the culture, enjoy what LA has to offer, and then later on go home and disrespect LA, well, that just makes you foolish and a coward. That's what it does to me. That's what it makes you. It doesn't make you bad. You didn't get brownie points or no clout. Anybody could afford gas. Well, not anybody could afford gas money, not in this economy, but hey, all it takes is air opportunity and gas money to go to Los Angeles. It ain't even that fucking serious. I've been there several times, right? Hey, it's beautiful. I like it. You know, when I see dudes talking about, I might even move to LA, I got the same type of feeling because it is a different feeling from Northern California. It's more fast. It's more go. And if you like that city vida, that city life, that's what it is in LA. But it's also more dangerous, more treacherous, and more gang violence going on in comparison to Northern California. But does that make it hardcore and harder? No, look, you grow up where you grow up. You don't get to pick and choose where you were born and the streets that you roam. You don't get to pick and choose that. Your parents did that, and their parents did that before them. You know, guys always ask me, hey, Gunner, what would you ever be a sureño? If I grew up in LA, I would have no choice. Sur gang, right? If I grew up in Fresno, I'd be barking around this motherfucker. But I didn't. I grew up in Northern California, and whooping, the huelga bird started to fly. You're just a product of your environment. You're a product of the geography makeup of where you're born. It's all geographical, man. And look, you really have no say-so over it. Now, the one thing that throws a stick in the spoke that makes people go and fall over is the upstaters. Where Bozo said, hey, we're over there conquering. Let me explain to him a little bit of the history. Southsiders, Southerners have always been in Northern California. It's not an invasion. That's propaganda that's fed to Northerners to make them upset and to get off where they're mad at. It's not an invasion, humps. Southerners, when North and South started in the late 70s, early 80s, when it started in the California Youth Authority, because that's where North and South started, for those of you that don't know your history, when Nortenos and Sureños or Southsiders started in the Youth Authority, there was already gangs in San Jose. There was already gangs in Salinas. There was already gangs in Merced. There was already dudes who said, you know what? We're going to get to pick and choose what we want to do. We're going to claim Southside. Sur gang. You could tell by the writing on the wall, and it was there. So Southerners have always been in Northern California. There was just a majority of Norteños there, and you didn't see much Southerners. And that's why Norteños will go on the internet and social media and say, yes, there are Southerners. They can't disclaim that, right? They can't say that there isn't, but they'll always say that they never really see them out. Okay, you used to not. In the early 90s, you didn't see Southsiders running around because they didn't have numbers. And as they started to gradually their gang accumulate numbers, then you started to see them more often. It doesn't mean they were hiding in a backyard or in a home. It doesn't mean they were scared to come out their home, because there was Southsiders all the time. I remember seeing them as a youngster, right? In fact, I remember seeing Southerners before Northerners, and that's just the truth, right? But what you did have was not a big number, a big collective of Southerners, so you didn't see them as much, but you did see them. They've always been in Northern California. So when Bozo's like, they're coming to LA for the clout, we're going up there and basically collecting bodies, basically establishing and taking over. Let me explain something to you. Do you remember when the Grammy award-winning rapper, whatever his name is, fucking Lefty, crazy, scary, spooky, I'm off drugs now. Do you remember when Lefty went to fucking Northern California? Remember when he went to Frisco? It was a big deal. All these fucking hood blogs and all this. Oh, Lefty's filming a fucking video in San Francisco. Lefty's here, Lefty's there, right? Do you remember when the rapper, shout out Conejo, man, the rapper Conejo went to Monterey County to do his concert? That was a big deal. Do you remember when Bozo almost made it to Atwater? It was a big deal on social media. Like all these different things, you know, everybody was talking about it. Ooh, they're going to Northern California. Ooh. So when Northerners go to Southern California, it's like, ugh, it's the Crip Mag. Ugh, fair, right? You got to keep it fair. Fair business, right? It's not a big issue or a big deal. The big deal is the disrespect. Like I'm feeling Neil Dazad, man, when he's feeling some type of way about dudes disrespecting their city. Do you remember when Lucky Sazu, Lucky from Hoodstocks, went to Merced? Wasn't really a big issue when he did a few burpees in a parking lot, and everybody was like, ooh, look, Lucky's in Merced. He's in Northern California. It's the fucking bloggers, and it's the people that make it an issue. It's really not that big of a deal. California is California. When Californians figure that out, they'll be a lot more better off, man. It isn't Northern and Southern California. That's some made-up bullshit. It's California, period, on minds. And that's definitely what it is. Look, LA, See, California knows how to party. From Oakland to Sacktown, the Bay Area and back down. Cali is with it. Even fucking Pac knew that shit. Cali is with it to put their Mac down. So I don't know why people get so upset and keep this gangbanging shit going. You ain't gonna do nothing, Bozo. What are you gonna do? Because a couple of Nortenos went to LA. Hey, here's a new flash, homie. Nortenos been in LA. They might not have a barrio, they might not be gangbanging, but they go there. Everybody loves Disneyland. That's it. Go Peter Pan, right? Come on now. It's crazy that everyone's feeling some type of way, but you say, hey, they ain't shit. They ain't got nothing on Southern California. They ain't nothing. So why even care, right? See, I come from an era of why care era. Why care? If the opposition don't pose no threat, why even give a fuck? Why even talk about them? Why even give them the exposure that they so desperately seek? If Norteños are going to LA for the clout, why give them that? Why even talk about your feelings towards them? Because deep down inside, it irks you. It makes you upset, and Bozo's mad. See, Bozo's been mad at Norteños for a long time, and I never understood why. Bozo seems like the upstate poster child. And when I say about upstaters, they have every reason to be upset with Northerners. Absolutely. Those are their enemies. Those are the people they have to watch their back from. Same thing with the Norteños. They have every right to be going at it with the upstaters and to be feeling some type of way. But there's a difference in Southern California. I remember when Sureños and Southsiders from Southern California did not even like the upstaters, calling them 13 and a half and all types of other shit, disrespecting. Yes, I go way back to the Youth Authority. I was there in YA. You know what I'm saying? When Southerners would come from Richmond, they'd come from Sanjo, they'd come from Salas, they'd come from these cities where they were established and the flag was planted years and years before we ever started gangbanging. And they would come in and representing Sanger and these different neighborhoods. And let me tell you something. Them vatos from LA, and it was mostly LA. It wasn't really San Diego or the Inland Empire. They didn't even trip, homie. They had their own beef with vatos from LA. But LA was like everybody else was inferior to them. That's the truth. That's how they felt. They were the mecca of gangbanging. And that went for the Crips, the Bloods, and all the Norte thugs. That's how it went, right? And they used to call these guys 13 and a half. Say, vato, you ain't part of my ranfla. All that. I seen it with my own fucking eyes. You know, but it seems like Bozo was the hero and the champion of the upstaters, and he feels like, hey, those are the homies, which he's right. Once you fly under the flag, doesn't matter if you're from Egypt. A Southerner is a Southerner, a Northerner is a Northerner. That's cool. But you don't need to be feeling so upset because some Norteños went down to LA and did a music video. It ain't even that serious, man. And if you really feel that disgruntled about it, you don't go on the internet and voice that. You go up north and fucking do your own music video or go pull up and handle your business. It's just that simple. You know, when people are like, hey, man, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. You're not supposed to like that shit. But at the end of the day, it's the shit. It just is what it is. And I'm not here back in the Norteños play for going to LA because I think it's foolish to go to Los Angeles and disrespect bottles. I think it's foolish to go to restaurants and disrespect. I think it's foolish, man, to go down to LA with bad intentions. You can't say, hey, I'm making business moves. I'm down here doing business. And then on the back end, disrespect the land to which the business is so much easily presented to you. You know, respect where you go. See, respect is what I learned. Even when I was gangbanging, the only one that was disrespected was our families and ourselves. We were disrespecting ourselves by going out there and creating chaos amongst the raza. That was the disrespectful part. We were disrespecting our communities, disrespecting the soil where our families toiled, disrespecting our households and our parents' wishes. That was the disrespect. We were disrespecting ourselves. You're killing yourself, stupid. Right? That's how fucking Miklo's tia felt. And she made some good rafin. But that's how she felt. And she was right. Look, the only one that truly disrespected is a man that interprets the disrespect. That's some real knowledge you can't get in college. I tell you, I give game, but I don't give up game. If you see something that's disrespected and you interpret it as such, well, then I guess you feel disrespected, right? See, I don't see it like that. You know, unless someone blatantly calls me a bitch, a tweaker, a sucker, a punk, then, okay, you're disrespectful. But if they're just go to Merced and do a couple push-ups, that's not disrespect. If anything, man, Recognize game in the Bay, man, that you recognize in the Valley, man. That's just what it is. It's recognition. So when Norteños are going to LA, right? It's not for clout. It's not for fame. Now, there are some that immediately, hey, I pulled up to LA. Ooh, like it's a big deal. And that's stupid. To me, that's foolish. It makes you look foolish. Bro, it's a fucking city in the state where you were born or you're from. It's just another fucking city. Go to Turlock and do that. Go to Patterson and do that. Go to Pixley and do that. You can tell by the writing on the wall, there's a gas station. You go to Pixley and do that. Look, it doesn't matter where you're at or what you're doing. It matters how you carry yourself while you're there. The professionalism that you display while you're there. And I know everyone's upset because fucking Big Fats went, BFD, he went to LA. And yes, he was a little derogatory and disrespectful towards Los Angeles. It seemed like LA couldn't do enough for him. Yet, the standard while he was there is that LA was doing a lot for him. He was elevating. You don't get elevated by going to another city. You get elevated by the fucking hustle that you put down, by the moves you make. And let me tell you, LA ain't a big ass gigantic move. It's another city. But yes, there is more business there. It is the land. It is Hollywood, man. Okay, there's a lot more business fair happening in LA. We know that. But you got to watch out, man, because you do also know that LA is ran behind the scenes by groups that don't necessarily play. So you got to watch what you do. Bozo's feeling some type of way. Like it matters. Like people care. Look, Bozo always has to disrespect the North continuously and constantly. And anytime a Norteño does anything that's positive or anything that they're trying to do, that he always has an opinion. He has something to say, and it's always in the negative. He just straight up don't like Northerners. And look, I understand, man. I know Northerners that hate Southerners. Even when they're not gangbanging anymore and they got a family going on and they're doing their thing, they still hate it. Because that's what's indoctrinated to them. That's what's bred into them. See, I understand the upstaters and I understand the Northerners, the hatred, because it's constantly told to them. That's the way they're laced up. But Vatos in the Sur gang, real Southerners and Southern, I'm not saying upstairs ain't real because they're real, homes, but real Southerners from Southern California, Sureños, Southsiders, from barrios in LA, they ain't even told about Norteños. They find out about Norteños on social media or in prison. They don't care about Northerners. So where is this seething, burning hatred for the North that Bozo possesses? And to sit there and say, hey, the fucking Southerners are playing chess, they're taking over everything. Where's your taking over game at? You couldn't even make it to Atwater. I said, where is your taking over at? What do you get? What's the consolation prize for taking over? What do you get? If the takeover was real, there wouldn't be any more Norteños because the numbers had always been at a disadvantage. There's always been 10-1 Southsiders, maybe even more, 100-1. It's that big of a difference, right? So if the Norteños were such a weak cause, they were such a weak raza because they are brown, homes, then why are they still there? Same thing goes for the Bulldogs. That's one city holding it down, and they're still there, right? The fact of the matter is, man, everyone is supposed to be concerned with their barrio, their own. And it's crazy in 2026 that this is the big issue because a couple of dudes from Northern California went to LA. This is 2026. I done been to LA a million times already. Okay, I'm not a gang member, but when I was going down there and it wasn't no big deal. Go down there, see family. I still got family that are posted up right there right now today. Go down there, see my family, barbecue, kick it with some Southsiders from Compton, and then go home. And they knew exactly where I was from, and they didn't trip. As long as I didn't disrespect their neighborhood, disrespect them, hey, I was part of their homeboys from their Vargas family, and I got the pass, I got the golden ticket. It's ours, Charlie. But I didn't go down there and steal fizzy lifting drinks. I didn't do none of that. I went down there with respect. Look, I get it. BFD did seem a little disrespectful by talking a little bit of shit. Thumps did seem a little disrespectful by talking a little bit of shit. But the thing is, like I said, I knew about the pull-up to no jumper weeks ago. I already knew, man. It wasn't that hard for me to find out. But who am I to put dudes on blast and put them in a dangerous situation? Because I know it could have went that way. LA's no joke. Motherfuckers could have felt some type of way like Bozo. I doubt it. But dudes could have felt some type of way and pulled up, right? So I didn't say shit. I kept my muzzle on lock because that's not my business. That's fair. That's not my business. And I didn't, right? But how hard was it for Bozo and all these guys to find out? You obviously didn't, or you knew and didn't say nothing until after the fact, bro. Let's keep it real. Anyways, man, I don't know why Neil Dezad, Bozo, Grifo, especially Grifo. Come on, bro. Stop it, bro. You do business with dudes from up north. I don't know why these guys are so upset, man. Hey, real Sureños Southsiders, shout out, man. They ain't even giving a fuck, bro. They're carrying on about their business and just doing their thing. Real Northerners, man, are too busy dealing with what they got to deal with up north. And everyone's making it a big issue over fucking some rappers that go to Southern California, man. Let them dudes do them. If they go disrespecting, you go find them, bro. Look, I'm going to tell you, bro. I've seen motherfuckers pull up. Craziness, right? This is just, fuck them vatos. We're playing chess. They're playing checkers. No, there are dudes playing chess and other dudes playing checkers, and you're not one of them, Bozo. What you're doing is speaking on the internet, upset, and saying, oh, Nortenos don't count. Remember you said they waved the white flag. They don't count. They're not nothing. They're nothing to us. They're nothing to the Sioux. They're nothing. They're nothing. They're nothing. But you're talking about nothing. I don't get it, man. It just is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. And in the words of some fucking dude who said it a long time ago, can't you vatos all just get along? Do you know how much stronger the raza would be without brown people killing brown people? But you got fools like Bozo who do division. You got people like BFD who do division, who hate each other so much but will never see each other. It's nuts. Let me know what you guys think, man. Leave a comment. This video is sponsored by Barrio Liquors out there in Northern California, since fucking Bozo says that they're playing checkers, right? By some checker players out there in Turlock, California, man. Go over there, pull up to the Barrio, go get you something cold to drink, man. Go show love. Also, by Sticks and Stones Yard Service out there in Tucson, Arizona. If you're ever in the Tucson area and you own a home and you need some help, man, call on Sticks and Stones Yard Service, and he's going to come bless you with some real shit. And that's what it is. Now, that's fair. Bozo's a trip.